Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Caped Complainers. Joining me, as always, are the Caped Complainers. We are a weekly podcast show where we make each other laugh, make each other cry, get on everybody's bad side with our opinions. Joining me is Devin, Reed, and Flippo. Today's episode, we will be discussing the very divisive Paramount Plus TV show, Halo. But before we do that, Devin, I would love a thought. I would love something from your noggin today to get this episode going.
Okay. It's going to be superhero related, though. Is that fine?
That's fair.
Okay.
Debbie,
So,
I hate superheroes.
I know.
I am not okay with this.
so I've been playing a lot of Marvel Snap lately,
Mm-hmm.
and I have two separate thoughts that are both superhero related, based on this game. Number one, what in your opinion is the strongest weapon? And it doesn't have to be Marvel. It doesn't have to just be BDC, but the strongest comic book realm weapon.
That's an interesting thought. Am I only tied to Marvel, or does this include just comic book world in general?
It's like he didn't listen, because I said that. I said it doesn't have to be Marvel.
Oh, okay. I missed that part.
It could be any comic.
Honestly,
It is a comic book world, though.
it has to be a weapon, like not a power, just a weapon.
The weapon, yeah.
I'm gonna have to.
A Green Lantern ring is a weapon.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. I think it's the Green Lantern ring.
Why?
You can literally manifest anything with it. You can literally make a whole army of weapons to come up behind you with the Green Lantern ring. It's very OP, and it's luckily in the hands of heroes. But I think the Green Lantern is the most dangerous weapon. That if it were to fall into some bad force's hands, it could be very destructive.
Can you imagine
isn't the Green Lantern, isn't that a will? Is that right?
Yeah.
Power of will.
The power of will, yes.
Yeah, any bad guy can be very willful, you
Yeah.
know. I think it's pretty easily that boundary can be very easily any side.
Yeah. So I would say the Green Lantern ring. What is yours? What made you think
I want
this?
everyone else to share.
Oh, okay.
You mine.
Okay, all right.
That's how this works, Greg.
Sorry.
Just out of
I'm not very versed.
Reed is like a hand pistol.
No. I mean, the only strongest thing I know of really is the Infinity Gauntlet. Like, I know of weapons, but I don't really know the true power behind them and their true potential and all that.
Yeah.
So I can't really.
Well, I think the Infinity Gauntlet is a good answer.
I mean, it's got all the different powers. You just have to acquire all the gems to wield all the power.
But you could also look at it in terms of everything that Greg was saying. He's like, oh, I can do all these things. You could technically do with the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah. So that's what I'm thinking. It has all the various different powers.
I think the Infinity Gauntlet is a little bit more wide based. You can literally warp reality. You can't warp reality with a Green Lantern ring.
Right. But it's a lot that you can do with the Infinity Gauntlet. So that's the most powerful thing, and that's the only storyline I know about that they surround the storyline about a weapon, something to acquire to stop things or help things and stuff like that.
Okay. Flippo?
Maybe a time stick from the TVA.
Okay. Yeah.
Why?
Or why? Because it could just wipe you out without any like. I don't know. I'm like,
one
I
tap,
can't
like,
compare.
I'm just trying to be included, guys. Okay.
It's like, I'm just trying to be, like, because like Green Lantern makes sense, Infinity Gauntlet makes sense. I can't think of anything else that is
Besides
substantial enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would even compare.
We've already
to,
answered the question.
Oh, let me wipe out the freaking universe.
half.
Well, you could easily wipe out the whole universe.
You could, but I think it'll take you out as well.
Oh yeah. Well, then
not if
just
that's the parameters you put into it.
yeah, just be
But,
like,
I mean, so why did it?
Or
Why did
is
it
like the
hurt
Infinity
Thanos?
Gauntlet, or is it out of play because like the eye
Eye
is
of
one the
Agamotto.
stone, the time stone? Yeah, wouldn't that technically be a weapon?
The Eye of Agamotto.
I guess it's hard because you'd have to identify, like, is each stone individually a weapon?
Well, here's
Or
I mean that
the
as
whole
well.
thing?
yeah, is the Infinity Gauntlet a weapon or is it just a piece of apparel?
I think with the stones it's a weapon,
Yeah.
but I don't think that every stone on it is a weapon. You know what I mean?
So
Which
you
ones do
would
not
so
consider weapons?
so is a bracelet with a bunch of spikes on it considered a weapon?
Can be.
Okay.
It's offensive.
Depends on how you use it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, then yeah, depends on how you use it. So yeah, I guess yeah, the Infinity Gauntlet would be a weapon.
So I would say the Infinity Gauntlet, but just because it's already been said, I'm going to change my answer, and mine's going to be a better version of Greg's. The White Lantern ring, because it can channel the entire emotional spectrum.
What about the Black Lantern ring?
Isn't that just raise zombies?
Well, yeah, I mean it basically defies death. That like
Yes.
anybody who dies is basically your weapon.
But you know what they needed to defeat those Black Lanterns? The White Lantern.
The White Lantern. Okay. Well, I don't appreciate the one up, but yeah, I guess sure. The White Lantern ring is better.
So my other question was, again, still as you play Marvel Snap, you get all these different cards, right? Who is the most underrated, like, Marvel character? You could be hero or bad guy. Who do you think is the most underrated one?
Jar Jar Binks.
Jubilee.
Underrated Marvel character.
I guess it doesn't have to be Marvel, but it can be.
Just most
Well, you're
underrated.
talking about Marvel Snap. It might as well be.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a hard one.
I know mine, and I've been using his cards so frequently lately.
What is it?
Stegron.
Who's that?
So he's a Marvel villain who is literally a Stegosaurus, but he's like a human Stegosaurus. And like my favorite. So like my favorite, he turns other people into dinosaurs.
Okay.
And there's a moment where Spider-Man's talking to him. He's like, with your technology, you could cure cancer. And he's like, I don't want to cure cancer. I want to turn people into dinosaurs.
Yeah, okay, I think I've seen that.
Yeah, I have him. I recently got a Spider-Man puzzle, and he's on there. So yeah, once you like said he's a Stegosaurus, I was like, oh, that's who that guy is.
Yeah, I've been using his card of Marvel Snap lately, and I've been kicking butt, man. Tim and I played at the wedding last night.
Yeah.
I beat him.
Okay.
Twice.
That's a hard question. I don't know if I can think of an underrated Marvel character like on the spot.
I mean, yeah, I've been watching the X-Men, to get ready for X-Men 97 coming up, and yeah,
I need to start watching.
Jubilee. I'm like, yeah, she just gets pushed around a lot and just makes fireworks, but somehow she's able to do more than that, which is weird.
Not anymore. In the comics, she gets turned into a vampire and she loses her powers.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Crazy.
Interesting.
She's still important enough to be in comics?
At least for a while she was, yeah. But then they reset the universe, and I don't know if that's the case anymore.
Oh, reset the universe.
Yeah, I can't think of anybody. So, yeah. I would need a list, and then like once I see names, I could be like, oh yeah, that one. But I can't think of anybody.
Who's a person that you're like, ooh, I like this guy, but they're not in like mainstream comics. They show up every once in a while. Like, I know that Shocker's well known, but I wouldn't say that Shocker is like a mainstream villain. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Let's see. I'm looking at my Funkos to see if like, do I have anybody up here?
Yeah, that's a good
Anybody up here who is really under? Oh, Man Thing. I think Man.
Oh, like the Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
For Marvel, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think Man Thing is definitely underrated. He needs to be a lot more mainstream, and so I got really excited whenever he showed up in Werewolf by Night, and he's a great character, and I really would love him to I would love to see him get the love he deserves. So
was he the monster that they were hunting in the maze?
Yes, he's like the big Man Thing. But yeah, I would.
On the nose.
Yeah, I would definitely say probably Man Thing.
Nice.
Okay. All right. I guess let's go ahead and get into our topic then. Excuse me. As we said at the start of the show, we are talking Paramount Plus's Halo TV series. We just got a season 2. Season 1 was very divisive among fans. A lot of fans were upset that it's very loosely based off of the games. It uses the same characters, but creates its own net of what this universe is, and it really threw a lot of fans off. One of the big things is Master Chief. He never we never see his face throughout the video game series. He's always been just a mysterious character. Reason behind it could be just we, the player, are supposed to be Master Chief, and that's why we never see his face. So whenever he got brought into television, obviously they couldn't do that. So they show his face almost instantly. That kind of ticked a lot of people off. And the overall story that they were building was very flawed. It took a lot of liberties where it shouldn't have. But I will say season 2, even though it's not perfect, it is a leg up in the right direction to where this show should go. But let me hear y'all's thoughts on it really quick. Obviously, it seems that me and Reed were the only ones who committed to watching the episodes we have of season 2. So
I tried.
You tried. Well, then let's hear from someone who tried but didn't like it. So Devin.
Tried but failed.
Yeah. So Devin.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll preface this with it may not be the show's fault. I had a long week this week, and I came home one day and I was like, okay, I know I need to watch this.
Every week's a long week for you.
Screw that, man. But like I turned it on one night at like 7 or 8. When I was watching it, it was okay. I mean, I didn't finish the first season, and so I was watching it, and it just felt like a lot of talking.
Yes.
Like boring talking. I didn't really understand what was going on, and then I fell asleep, and I felt like I was asleep for hours. And I woke up, and the first episode was still going.
Mm-hmm.
And so at that point, I was like, Jesus, is this just dragging on? Like the first episode was only like an hour, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was an hour, and it was an hour 10.
Was it?
Yes. The first episode and I think the 5th episode are the longest. But yeah, this is a problem with this show. And I've said it before, it's a problem with mini shows. Not everything needs to be an hour. You're basically just trying to fill the hour with B storylines that I don't give a shit about. And that's how I felt. Like every scene that didn't have Master Chief in it, I'm just like, who cares? Like I loved Master Chief's arc in season 2, where they try to make him seem like he's crazy. that he's seeing people who to him are dead, and it's throwing him off. And even his Spartan soldier friends are starting to think he's losing it. But it turns out he was telling the truth the whole time, and it's all just a trick. But I really loved Master Chief's arc in this season so far. Everything with a Spartan in it is great, but I could not give a shit about any other B storyline with the Asian woman, the kid, Kessler. I'm like, I couldn't care.
Well, they also, like, in the first episode of season 2, like, the one thing that made Master Chief special about, like, taking out his pill, whatever it was. And I know that one other person did it, and something happened to her. I don't remember what it was.
Was that Riz?
Like,
because she's all damaged and
Yeah,
the white blonde one. I don't think that was Riz.
What's her name? Kai.
Yeah,
Kai.
But then, like, apparently all the Spartans are like, oh, new lease on life, gonna take out this pill in my back.
Mm-hmm.
And so everybody started doing it. And so, like, what makes Master Chief special now, other than the fact that he touched a rock?
It kind of delves a little bit into that in episode 5, where he finally finds what's her name, Halsey, the main lady. He finds her, and like he asks her, he's like, "Why did you choose me? Like, why am I Master Chief and all that stuff?" And she kind of tells him that, like, actually, I didn't choose you. You just kind of fell into it.
It just happened.
Yeah, like he's a born leader, and he just has a lot of really neat lines in this show. Like he's talking to, like, Reed remembers is whenever he's flipping the coin, and he's like, I always know it's going to land on heads.
Or just no, he knows.
Yeah, he knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, and in that little blurb from Master Chief about this sort of just intuition that he has, he says that this woman just came up to him randomly and was like, hey, here's a coin. Guess what it's going to be. He knew he guessed right each time. It was heads 20 times in a row.
Yeah, and like the reason behind that is he like knows what's going to happen. So every time he goes into battle, he's never afraid because he knows he's not going to die. He knows, like, I'll go into battle with people and they'll die, but I know I won't. And so he's just a badass. And I love the actor. I don't know his name, but he's great in the role. But where the show falls short is it takes far too many liberties. Like the best episode in the whole season so far is the Fall of Reach. It's the closest to what I want this show to be. Like the whole episode is just like Reach being overrun by Covenant, and they don't have their armor. The company or whatever the fuck they work for took their armor and got out of Dodge. And so they have nothing. They're just themselves. And it's really chaotic. You feel the war. Like instead of it just being drama for drama's sake, it actually felt like, yes, this is Halo. Let's do this. Fuck him up. And so it just didn't work. But that was like the best episode, and everything else just falls short of that.
Well, it's weird because you talked about just this coin flipping thing and everything, and my immediate thought was that sounds so dumb.
Well,
yeah.
If you watch it in context, it works a lot more. But just Chief is very special in this show. That like he is extremely important. He was chosen for a reason, and the reason is slowly becoming more clear as the show goes on.
Is that not the same in the franchise game? He's not anything special or chosen or anything. It's just
it doesn't ever say anything like that.
In the game, he's just a badass. He's just an unstoppable badass. It's like he was the best Spartan in the Spartan program.
And so really, that's not even because of him. That's because of us.
Yeah, like he's the best Spartan in the Spartan program, so he was granted the title of Master Chief, where he's like in charge of like the Spartans. And and I agree with Devin. Yeah, it's just because you just want to make the player feel like a badass. But the show's trying its best to make it seem that, like, yeah, he's a badass, but he's also flawed. He's more human than he lets on. I'm just like, no, just let him kick ass. Yeah, I'm just like, just let him kick ass.
I want to see him fight one of those big ass dudes with a hammer.
A brute?
Just like smacks.
The gravity hammer?
Yeah.
That's what I want to see him fight.
Episode.
I want to see him get his ass kicked.
Yeah, episode 6. That happens.
Does he get his ass kicked?
Yeah, he fights a brute. Oh yeah, he gets his ass beat. They run. It's like the final moments of Reach where they're fighting, and a brute comes in and just mows them down. But they get saved by another ship coming in and like shoots the brute. But Chief, he gets put into a coma for like 2 days because of that. Because one, he doesn't have his armor. He's an augmented human, but the armor definitely protects him.
Yeah, and Riz is there with him, sort of helping out, and she gets majorly injured.
Yeah,
as well.
They all get wrecked. One of the Spartans dies, Vanek. But yeah,
I liked him.
Yeah, they get their butt whooped on Reach. It's definitely a blow.
I felt like Vanek's voice didn't match.
I agree.
Like.
I agree.
And I'm thinking the same thing. I know one of our episodes is going to be about Shogun. The same thing about Blackthorn.
Yeah.
Whoever that actor is. And I'm completely thrown off by.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah.
Can we pause on this conversation for a second?
Sure.
And turn to Greg and ask, I see you took it off now, but why were you just chilling with this glove on?
It's
Michael Jackson.
No, it's my golf glove. I was rooting around in my drawer whenever I was showing you the Black Lantern ring, and I was just like, oh, there's my golf glove, and so I just decided to put it on. I golf occasionally. I'd like to golf more, but it's like an hour.
Do you like to golf, or do you just like to drive the buggy?
I like to drive the buggy.
It's called a cart.
I can hit the ball really far. I can't guarantee it'll go where I want it to go.
Yeah.
But
every time Greg hits the ball, somehow it ends up in the ocean. Doesn't matter how far away he is.
Yeah.
I'm real good at putting, and I'm real good with irons, but woods and drivers can't hit for shit.
I'm really good. I'm really good at.
wood.
I'm really good at, like, I would go to Top Golf, and like I can hit that thing. Just it goes just about all the way to the back.
I've hit the back net with an iron.
Yeah. And look,
it's the aiming that's a hard.
I can put little T's in the glove. It's pretty good. Yeah. Okay, so back to the topic. Yeah. So Devin, from somebody who really only watched one episode, said it was boring.
The franchise.
Yeah.
I like the games.
Yeah. What would you want the show to be then? Like, what is your perfect Halo adaptation?
That's a good question.
I think that adding it, and I understand why they do it because it's TV and everything else, but I mean, this is just him going mission to mission. That's what the games are. There's none of this like, oh, hey, now we're gonna have this conversation about some other thing that's happening.
On an off time.
Like it is, he is a soldier and he is jumping from point to point. He has no downtime. And so that's what I want to see. I don't care about like the behind the scenes, like, oh, I'm captain, I got to talk to the general about blah, 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 blah. I want to see you go on the missions to fight the Reach. That's what I want to see. Mm-hmm. I want to see you go on mission to fight the weird, like, slug things. You know what I'm talking about?
Weird slug things?
There's bio things.
Oh, the Flood?
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, the Flood.
I want to see them fight the Flood. I don't want to see you, like, talking in your cities.
Sex?
Yeah, like having existential crises.
That's fine.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to see him walking in the cities having an existential crisis. I want to see him, gun in hand, popping some beaches, and like stealing their weapons. I want to see him take one of those big hammers and boom. I want to see cool fight sequences. That's all I care about.
Yeah. Well, then you should watch the Reach episode, because that is exactly what you're saying, and that's where it really got good. Like
But
I slugged through the first couple of episodes, but then once they started talking about like Reach and that the Covenant is already on Reach, and I'm just like, oh yes, let's do this, and it was great. But then right after it, it dropped back down. It's just
and that's the
drama for
problem.
drama's sake, and I hate it.
Yeah, one episode of that is not enough to save the series.
Yeah.
Like I even played the latest video game that they had. I don't remember what it was called, and like
Infinite?
it
I
was
think
okay.
Infinite is the
I
most
think so.
recent.
And it was okay. Like it's cool that it's like a 4-person, 3 or 4-person squad that can join in your game.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very much like one of those games. It's not like, oh, you're here now you got to run through. It is open world, and you go and you do these things, and they're like little like things that you can destroy that pop up, just like any other like open world game now.
Mm-hmm.
It's exactly like that. It's not like they used to be.
Yeah. And like the games have a better story than the show does so far. The show is it's like what I said earlier. They're trying to fill the hour with a whole bunch of B stories that don't necessarily need to be there.
But I know I hear y'all and stuff like that, but I'll defend the show because you can't you can't have a whole show of straight CGI and stuff like that because that's just going to animation now. So
Yeah.
they should have made a choice, either doing CGI so they can do the big fight scenes and straight up war and shooting and all that like y'all want, or go this way, live action, sort of drama, still keep stuff, soldier from, soldier stuff from the game. So you kind of have to defend the show because they can't do all that animation all the time because that costs time and money.
Yeah.
Or, and hear me
Stuff
out.
like
The route they should have gone is instead of CGIing the Reach, they made actual costumes like the good old days that looked badass, and that's what they were.
It's cheap. It's cheaper to do CGI than it would be to do practical.
But you'd have it forever.
Yeah, I agree. I do prefer practical more than CGI.
And here's the thing, like, yeah, but I see what you're saying, but they could have also taken the storyline from the games because there's so many, and followed that.
But
and
here's
we would
the
have
thing,
gotten both.
who wants a retelling of the same thing that's already happened,
I do. You know why? You know how long it's been since I've played that first game?
I know.
So I don't remember what happened.
Thing, if you
But
want
that
if you want that storyline, go play the games. This is something different. You gotta separate the two.
Let me say this. I don't necessarily want a retelling of the games. I would like them to just follow the game formula instead of creating their own thing, where it's not really working for me in this universe. That we all know Master Chief as this. Now they're doing this, and it's really affecting how people view this character.
It's a weird mirroring.
Yeah, it's
in the first game. I'm pretty sure he is the last Spartan anyway. They're trying to recreate like ODST, where there's Spartans everywhere, and they're all going on squads. But I think that's what I think would have been better: is scrap all the other Spartans, get to a point where in like history he is the last Spartan, and he is going through doing that stuff, doing his best, saving the world. He's a myth. Ain't no one know him. And then when they see him, they're like God struck. You know what I mean?
Counterpoint.
I don't know, they might be trying to do that now.
Yeah.
If you watch the rest of the episodes, there is now a split. They are trying to wedge out Master Chief.
Yeah.
Kai is now the head of the Spartans and all that and stuff. So that might be a storyline that might be coming up if you keep watching. And so
sorry to interrupt. Go on ahead, finish your point. I was just talking because I thought you were finished. Go ahead.
I was sort of finished. But yeah, it seems like it might be going that route that you want. He might just be a lone act and partnering up with these B storyline people. So I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with you, Devin, but at the same time, no. But I think the show works with all the Spartans. Because, like what Reed was saying, that the show could lead up to him being the last Spartan. I love, like, everything with the Spartans was great. It's all the side stuff that I don't care about. And I feel like if it just followed the Spartans experiencing war, like, it doesn't have to be all action every time. If you wanted drama, make the drama within the group, which it did do a good job so far in this season, where there's a team called Cobalt that go on a secret mission, and Chief finds out about it, and he's just like, wait a minute, no, they were all killed. And like, that's where all like the making him seem crazy comes from, because the commander, he's just like, no, they went this way. He's like, no, this isn't the file I saw, and all that stuff.
Yeah, they changed the flight plan.
Yeah, and so, like, it's making him seem crazy. So if the drama and the story just stayed with the Marines and the Spartans, I think this show could be a little bit better. Instead of bringing,
I get that too. I like that idea too.
Yeah, instead of bringing in all these other storylines for drama's sake, that like, oh, our son is missing, we got to find our son. I'm like, I don't care.
So, what's up with this Pirate King and this whitewashed Kardashian woman?
The Pirate King used to be a Spartan. He used to be a part of the group.
Is this in the first season?
Yeah, he used to be a Spartan, and then he leaves to basically start a new life because he was done. They took him whenever he was 6, I think, and he was just like, he's done with it. He doesn't want to do it anymore. Yeah. So he goes off and does his own thing.
So I can get your annoyance with the B stories, because one, this woman, I don't even know her name. I'm just gonna call her White Kardashian because she looks like that. But she's annoying, and then this pirate king guy, he's got the worst one-liners. I don't know if somebody wrote those for him or it's this dude going improv, and he's just choosing just the most bland and unnecessary one-liners.
Yeah,
and it's just bad with that. But yeah, I like the as Greg said, the Spartan and the Marine storyline is good, and of course, that's the main storyline. They're doing good on that. I am okay with the drama and stuff like that, because I don't know the franchise. I haven't seen the first season yet, so I've only watched the second season. So going a little backwards here.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's okay. I think it's good so far. It is interesting to me that like I said, they're wedging Master Chief out and making him like gaslighting. I think that's a cool thing to do.
That is cool. I loved that.
Yeah.
But they ruin it by they just try to fill the hour with garbage. If this was just like a 30, maybe 40-minute long episodes of stuff, it'd flow a lot better. Like, I don't know, but yeah, it's not great.
It's not great, but to me, it's not bad either.
It is a step up from season 1. So whenever you go back, and
I've got something to...
yeah. So if you go back to season 1, like you decide you want to watch it, just be prepared. Yeah. Be prepared. It's a lot of really boring world building that nobody cares about.
So maybe that's the thing. That these first seasons are the world building and the slogging and stuff like that, and then they're gonna get into
the point,
more impact, more serious stuff in later seasons, if there are.
Yeah.
If people give it a chance and want to see it and stuff like that. I do think it's interesting too, that this I forgot what they call her. This other woman that is on the Covenant ship with this.
Another white-haired Kardashian lady.
In the first season.
Yeah, but I don't remember her name. But
I think it's kind of cool. I mean, it's hard to tell, and this is sort of part of the interesting part. She is part of the Covenant and wants to,
Yeah, she's human.
wants to be that important part for the Covenant. But is it for herself, for survival and stuff like that, or is that where she?
I would say go
does
back and
want
watch.
to be?
Yeah, go back and watch season 1, and you'll get some more answers.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
So I think that's interesting. And then, even Cortana is sort of working with her, and like Cortana knows the reasoning why she's doing these things, and is sort of working with her. But I guess she understands or knows that there is a connection between her and Master Chief.
mhm.
So I think that's kind of interesting. I think that's the part where y'all say he's had sex mentally and physically with this woman
yeah, they
because
did.
of this connection.
In a field of flowers, baby, and then on a bed.
So I think that's kind of interesting for the connection thing. Again, I'm new to this.
Yeah, that's a pretty good observation. So you're doing
Yeah.
good. But my last final complaint before we get into final thoughts is I want more of the Covenant. In season 1, we see the prophets, which are basically the so-and-so leaders of the Covenant, and I don't think we've seen them since.
No, they were about to fly into the
Yeah.
prophet, I guess, main
Yeah, the main
high
hub,
temple.
whatever.
I don't know what they call
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
And then obviously, of course, the Arbiter is a huge part of the games, and I really want him to become the character he was in the games, where he basically defects from the Covenant and joins the Earth effort, like the Earth soldiers. I would love that to happen. I just want more of the Covenant, and
I want more flood.
like
I want to see the flood.
yeah, I feel like the flood will, if it does get a third season or maybe the season finale of this season, maybe they'll introduce the flood. But
Is the Arbiter the main?
yeah, the Arbiter was
Covenant?
the Arbiter was the elite who was on the ship with the white-haired lady,
Yeah. Okay.
saying turn around and all that stuff, like this could be yours, and so he turns around. That's the Arbiter.
Yeah,
But yeah, the Covenant I just want more of, and it may be they're too expensive to animate and stuff, but I just say
But if that's
screw
the
it.
case, then don't do a show that's
Yeah.
based on 2 races.
Yeah,
But also, that's
yeah.
what I'm thinking is this is the build-up, so we might be seeing more. And then, if you say in the game he does become part of the Earth effort, that I feel like that should be part of the storyline.
Yeah,
So
and I'm a
hopefully
little,
we'll see
and
that.
it's a very small thing, but I'm a little butthurt that the Covenant doesn't speak English, because I was
Yeah, I
like,
gotta read.
yeah, I'm just like, can y'all just speak, like just say things, because in the games the Arbiter is voiced by Keith David, who is a fantastic voice actor, and I want to hear. Every time the Arbiter talks, I'm just like, please just say it. Like I just want to hear you. I want to hear the voice.
Same thing with Shogun. I mean, I appreciate the Chinese and Japanese language,
Yeah.
but I gotta read it. So I watch it during my lunch. So I'm making my sandwich and stuff.
I'm like,
Getting
what's
busy in the kitchen. I
like-
gotta look up every time.
like? What are they saying?
To read.
I know, and like every time the English character talks, it's like it's a refreshing. It's just like, oh, I can stop reading.
I'll close my eyes a little bit.
All right, well let's do final thoughts. Flippo, since you've been the most quiet, you were here for moral support. I don't believe you watched any of it. From what we were talking about, does season 2 interest you or put you off of the show?
It puts me off.
Okay.
I never got through season 1.
Yeah.
Just the whole. I think I only got through like 4 episodes of season 1, and it's not. It never
Feeling.
grasped my attention.
Yeah.
Like I never wanted to like. I'm excited to see this next episode.
Okay. Reed, fellow actual person who watched the show.
Hey,
What are
I
you?
actually watched 1 episode.
What are your?
Boo, shut up, Devin. He's not talking to you.
What are your? Oh yeah, I'm sorry, Flippo. Oh, from what we said, what cape would you give it?
Oh, 5.
5.
5 out of 10.
Okay. All right. Reed, final thoughts and capes.
Again, I am interested. I haven't seen the first season. I haven't played the games, so I guess I can be the only one to solely judge it on what it is. So I think it's good enough. Keep me interested. I haven't seen season 1, so I will be going back to watch that, see how it is. But yeah, I think it is it seems like it's unfortunately one of those situations where it is doing the world building and it is doing the build up here at the beginning, and so the real fans will probably stick around and watch it and see where it goes, and then when they start doing absolute crazy shit, people are gonna be like, all right, we're done.
Yeah.
So I am interested. I like the main storyline. I do like the drama between the Marines and Spartans and stuff like that, and I think it's a cool thing trying to gaslight and wedge Master Chief out. And I guess
Were you
I
lost
guess that's
starting in season 2?
yeah, probably a little bit. Apparently there was already this big thing about this. I even asked y'all on our messaging, and Tim was telling me about this one woman that had to be sent away, which I think is the person that's with the Pirate King and taking care of Kessler and stuff like that. I'm like, well, I don't know anything why she's here.
Yeah.
And she takes this wig off. I'm like, okay, why is she hiding her identity and stuff like that? And so, and if how long has it been between the first season and the second season? Like, is Kessler her actual son, or was it the pirate dude's son and she's just adopted it?
Yeah.
She's
I'd say
stepmom,
if you're feeling it, go back and watch season 1. It's not as good. I will say season 2 is a little bit more watchable than season 1. But you probably won't have a good time watching it.
Yeah, and so yeah, these B storylines aren't strong, so I do agree with that. But I think they might come into a merge of what the main storyline again with Master Chief being wedged out. So
okay, and what are your capes?
I'll be sticking around for it, so I'll give it. Yeah, it's not good, it's not bad, so I'll give it 6.
6. Okay.
Still interested though.
Devin, final thoughts and capes?
It sounds like the only thing that I would have been interested in watching was episode 5.
Yeah.
I watched more of the first season, and
like
even then I stopped. What?
That's all talked about, right? Mainly?
Yeah. And so I'll probably give it like a 3.
Okay.
I was bored. I didn't want to watch the rest of the season. I didn't really care. Yeah.
All right.
I'll give it a 3.
Is this based on comparison between the show and the game?
It's also based on the fact that I watched most of the first season. And I kind of felt the same way.
Yeah.
And I was just disinterested.
Okay. Well, we all kind of hit the nail on the head. It's strong. It's very strong in some points, but lacks in others. The Spartan Marine stuff, mint. That's what the show should be. I really enjoy Master Chief, the actor. He's
got a big nose, though. But
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the show could be something special if it would follow the games a little bit more. Where they're losing me is it's a lot of new world building of like, hey, here's new things we're throwing at you, things you're not familiar with, and blah, 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 destroying everything that you think about Halo. And I'm just like, oh, great. What else?
Greg hates change.
Yeah, like remove the B stories, drop the runtime a bit, and just, I don't know, just make something the fans of the game would like. Like, it's very loosely based off of the games. Maybe just give the games a little bit of credit and show us what the fans know and love about these characters, and the world. It could be something special. That being said, season 2 is a better watch than season 1. I would recommend watching it. I'm probably going to finish this season, which is saying something because I couldn't get through season 1. But yeah, I'm going to give this a wobbly 7. It could easily drop down to a 6, but I'm going to give it a very wobbly 7.
Like a whole 6 or 6.5?
No, it's going to go down to a 6. It's just going to go straight down.
Oh, you might as well just take it down to 6 now.
Yeah. I'm going to give it a 7 and see how the season finishes, and then go from there.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's got potential. Just let's see if they make the right calls.
Yeah. All right.
Hashtag spoiler alert. They won't.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and end it there.
Side note.
Yeah.
Side note. The creator, the production company behind Red vs. Blue.
Yeah, Rooster Teeth. They shut down.
Officially done.
Yeah.
Whoop, whoop.
All right. Well,
before we
after like 25 years, something like that.
Yeah, they've been around for a long time.
Before we leave, I just want to take a moment to let the world know and for us to feel some grief that Akira Toriyama passed away this week. He's the creator of Dragon Ball and all those things.
Oh, yeah.
And he was very involved in all of his projects, except for apparently GT. But he was a good one, and he's...
Well, you didn't care about the creator of the Backyardigans passing away?
No, God, no.
All right, well,
Is that Akira Toriyama?
Yeah, let's.
Yeah, you and Rowan didn't get down to Backyardigans.
Yeah.
He's watched some, and then he'll be like, "Can I watch this?" And I'm like, "Nope."
All right,
turn it off.
Well, let's go ahead and end it there. Thank y'all for joining us for the Cape Complainers.
Don't forget to like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
And make sure to check out our YouTube channel where we are streaming on Twitch when Tim gets back.
Yeah.
And if you have time, you can find us just about anywhere. You can find us on YouTube if Tim has been uploading. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Basically anywhere that has podcast, we're probably on it. And don't forget that nobody complains like a fan. Have a good one.
A fan?
Still here.
Well, for some reason I was about to say Spartan. But yeah, nobody complains like a fan. Bye-bye.
Or a Spartan.
All right, bye-bye.
Bitches.